I'm Nikki.
And I'm Jess.
She's the traumatized.
And she's the abandoned. And welcome to our podcast,
where we talk about true crime, spooky things, and everything in between.
And today, we're going to be talking about some conspiracy theories. Let's go.
I was struggle busting it on what to do this week.
Really? Oh, I knew instantly what I wanted to do.
I mean, you got conspiracy nuts that you hang out with, so it's easy for you to get ideas. I'm so
true. I just say con, and then it's gone. And give me 10, I'm good. But a lot of those are really political, and so try to keep out of those. But yeah, that does help. I actually got this inspiration while I was doing my research last week off the YouTube video that I used. So. Because I'd heard about it. One of my favorite podcasts, and That's Why We Drink, M did it. And so I was obsessed with it when I heard her do it. So I was like, I've been wanting to kind of slide it in. I just kind of forgot about it. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, it's time. Did you see the comment we got on one of our videos last week? I was so excited.
On what? On YouTube?
On YouTube. And it was I got emails and I commented on my personal account because I just don't care if people have a personal account or not because it's YouTube. But the comment was like, I've been looking for a new work podcast and saw you guys on my For You page. So, I subscribed. We got 32 subscribers now. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh.
I was excited.
Love that.
I love it.
Anyways, my week. Was the first week I didn't have medical appointment, so yay me.
Yeah, one next week.
But my husband called in sick on Tuesday.
Yep.
And so we took that moment to have a little family fun. And we went mini golfing. And
love that. Okay.
Beanie loved it. He wanted to go again, but we didn't want to pay another $13 for each of us to go again. But they had a bunch of free games out front, a giant yard games, giant Connect Four, the giant Jenga, giant yard beer pong or pong. I don't know, whatever it is. So we did. It's actually a really cool place. So we were there. I was wearing regular leggings and I was hurting. So as soon as I got home, I ordered maternity clothes.
Yay!
Finally had a bust out the maternity clothes.
Oh, that's so cute though. I love that for you. Oh, you're showing on being all adorable and stuff. You sent me a Snapchat of Beanie playing mini golf and it looked very familiar. We play very similarly where I try really hard the first one or two shots and then eventually I just end up taking the ball with my club and dragging it to the hole. That is what I do. So I think we'd be a really good team.
At one point I looked at my husband. I was like, maybe we should sign him up for hockey the way he's doing it.
That's it.
Hockey's an expensive sport though. Yeah,
it is expensive.
How was your week though? Anything exciting, fun, not fun, boring?
Yeah, I got some fun things. I am officially registered in Virginia and I went ahead and switched my name over. So I'm back to the maiden name legally. I went Thursday, left work early and got it all taken care of. So that was my big thing this week. That and while I was filling out the paperwork, they were asking all these questions what's the gross weight of your car? Blah, 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 blah. So I was at my grandfather's home this week. I was asking him how many axles are on my car? And he said, oh, it's 2. And I was like, perfect. And then I went to do the next part of it and my door is open. I went to do the next part of it. I was like, what's your gross rate? I was like, how the hell am I supposed to know that? All of a sudden he starts dying laughing. And I'm like, are you laughing at me? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, why are you laughing at me? He was like, well, did you just say that? And I was like, yeah. Because he's never heard me cuss.
Oh, wait, what did you say?
I said, how the hell am I supposed to know that? He just started dying. And I was like, oh. I didn't realize he could hear me. I didn't think I said it that loud. That was really funny. We both laughed about it for a while. But it was a very busy week. Very good, busy week. Always busy.
Always busy.
And here's the fun fact of the day.
Fun fact of the day.
Fun fact of the day. Did you know? So last year, Jesus. So you remember last week when we talked about Jupiter having sunsets every 10 hours? Well, a day on Venus lasts longer than a year. One day on Venus is 243 Earth days.
Crazy.
One day is 243 Earth days, so it rotates so slow.
Dang.
Wild.
Crazy.
We're in planets now. I don't know why. I just keep finding fun facts. I'm like,
Hashtag Pluto's a planet. Hashtag bring back Pluto.
Bring back Pluto. So wrong what y'all did to him. He did not deserve that.
He did not. How dare you?
How dare you? Poor Pluto.
We're on Team Pluto, if anybody couldn't guess.
We like cheering for the little guy. Anyway.
We do.
We really do. All right. What's your conspiracy about? I'm so excited to hear it. Also, not gonna be any pictures this week. I don't have any pictures.
I got pictures.
You got pictures?
I got
okay.
pictures.
I ain't got pictures, so y'all enjoy her pictures because I don't have any.
So if you want to check out pictures, head to our YouTube.
Oh yeah.
If not, just chill along with us.
We have a link tree that y'all should check out. It has like all of our socials and stuff. So do the shameless plug as you look
as
up
I'm
your story.
loading up.
Yeah.
As I'm loading my pictures, literally as we speak. Okay, I'm doing kind of a fun conspiracy theory this week.
Okay.
Because I don't remember what yours is, but it sounded serious. So I was like, you know what? I was actually struggling to figure out what conspiracy theory I wanted to do. And I was like, you know what? If she's doing a serious one, I'll just fuck around. And so
I appreciate that.
Here we go.
I'm ready.
Traveling, whether it's for business or pleasure, it is something most of us have experience with. For some, traveling via air to their destination is a preferred choice. In fact, over 853 million passengers in 2022 thought so. I can tell you're so confused.
Where are you going with this? All right, I'm here.
And for most traveling via airplanes, the airport can be either a pleasant experience or a not so pleasant experience. Fun fact, you will never catch me at O'Hare, Chicago Airport ever again. Every time.
Going to the airport? Sorry. O'Hare, sorry. You're talking serious. I'm stuck in memes. Okay.
Right.
O'Hare, why?
Every time I've been there, it's been a horrible experience. Super packed. There's always been issues. I hate O'Hare Airport. Hate it.
I'm nervous because I'm flying into Atlanta Airport.
Atlanta's good. Atlanta's so nice. It is a beautiful airport. Yeah.
I've never been there and I'm nervous.
It's so pretty.
Okay.
It's like big and spacious and like it's busy, but it doesn't feel busy. At least when I was going through there.
Have you driven outside of it?
No.
That's what I'm concerned.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the coming and the going of the airport because it looks to be quite terrifying.
There's arrows. Oh, you'll be fine.
I'm not going to be driving, but
I mean, all airports are kind of the same where you go in one side, out the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know what it is. Every time you say airport, I want to go airport. Like every
Do I
time.
say it weird?
I think so. I think you trigger it. I think you trigger literally every time you say airport. I'm like, airport? I'm not going to the airport. Like, I don't know why. I'm sorry. I'll keep it contained to myself. Okay, so please tell me this is not about an airport.
But it is one of those airports that is the topic of my story because this specific airport doesn't just have one or two conspiracies surrounding it, but many.
Oh, interesting. You're doing an airport.
I don't think you'll be flying through this airport soon. Okay. But the airport is Denver International Airport.
Oh, very cool. Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna focus.
Okay. Are you?
Anyway, okay. All right, focusing back. We're at Denver Airport. There are multiple conspiracies about it.
Yes. Denver International Airport, locally known as DIA, is an international airport in the western United States, primarily serving metropolitan Denver, Colorado. At 33,531 acres or 52.4 square miles, it is the largest airport in the Western Hemisphere by land area and the second largest on Earth. So opened in 1995.
It's so big. Sorry, I don't know why I didn't expect it. It's so big.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Opened in 1995, Denver currently serves 25 different airlines, offering nonstop service to over 215 destinations throughout the Americas, Europe, and Asia. It was the 4th airport in the U.S. to exceed 200 destinations. Both in 2021 and 2022, Denver was the 3rd busiest airport in the world, as well as the 3rd busiest airport in the United States by passenger traffic. I'm going to go over construction real quick. So Denver has traditionally been home to one of the busier airports in the United States because of its mid-continent location, and it was ideal for an airline hub. From 1980 to 1983, Denver Regional Council of Governments investigated areas for a new area airport north and east of Denver. A deal was struck with 3 counties for Denver to annex 54 square miles to build the airport away from established neighborhoods. So there was like this huge feud with the counties, and because they didn't want noisy airport next to their home. Right?
Yeah,
understandable.
Absolutely.
Seeing the importance of a Denver air hub to the national transportation system, the federal government actually put $500 million, equivalent to $1 billion as of 2021, towards the new airport. And then the rest of the cost would be financed by bonds to be repaid with fees on airlines.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
Ground was broken in September 1989 with an opening date of May 1993. However, construction delays pushed opening day back, first to December 1993, then to March 1994. By September 1993, delays due to a millwright strike and other events meant opening day was pushed back again to May 1994. One of the major issues was the automatic baggage system. Originally planned to automate the handling of baggage through the entire airport, the system proved to be far more complex than some had originally believed. The problems building the system resulted in the newly completed airport sitting idle for 16 months while engineers worked on getting the baggage system to work.
Wait, so is this like before baggage claim? Like this is the original like baggage claim, or are they trying to make it better?
They were trying to make it fully automatic. So like, how at airports you see the little trolleys with the tool thingies in the back carrying all the luggage. They were trying to make all of that automatic.
Gotcha.
And so no people like involved with transporting your baggage to and from the airplanes.
Okay.
The delay added approximately $560 million to the cost of the airport. And at the end of the day, the system that was finally implemented was a shadow of what was originally planned. The system supported outbound flights on a single concourse only instead of all of them.
Wow.
All other baggage was handled by a manual tug and trolley system that was hurriedly built when it became clear that the automated system would never meet its goals. Even the portion of the system that was implemented never functioned properly, and in August 2005, the system was scrapped altogether.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy. DIA finally opened on February 28th, 1995, 16 months behind schedule, and at a cost of $4.8 billion, or equivalent to $7.9 billion as of 2021, nearly $2 billion over budget, or $3.3 billion over budget for 2021.
That amount of money is just insane to me. Like $1 billion is like $999 million plus $1 million. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just and you're saying billions, so that's like times 2. Like it's just like my mind has such a hard time wrapping around such big numbers. So crazy.
So on to the conspiracies. Are you ready?
I am so ready.
First conspiracy, secret societies.
Oh, who doesn't have a secret society? Let's be real.
It is theorized that secret societies were behind the construction of the airport. And to fuel this theory, in the Great Hall of DIA, there is a plaque that is a dedication to the airport. The first name listed on the stone as a contributor is the organization called the New World Airport Commission. However, an organization of that name doesn't and never has existed, but the name sounds eerily like the New World Order, a supposedly secret society that has far-reaching control from behind the scenes.
Ooh, okay.
People often think that DIA was built by them to weather out an apocalypse or extinction event of some kind. The granite marker also depicts the square and compass symbol of the Freemasons and the names of 2 Grand Lodges and their Grandmasters, making it seem like they were also secretly involved.
Okay.
And you can see where the Freemason mark is.
Yeah.
And then right under that is where it says the New World Airport Commission.
So crazy.
However,
I was gonna say, how do they explain this?
how does the airport explain it?
Yeah, how do the naysayers naysay?
So the debunking of this. For the Freemasons, airport officials say etchings on the stone is simply evidence of the generosity of the local Masonic lodges that crafted and laid the stone. After all, that's what stone masons do.
I mean, okay.
So the New World Order, according to a 2007 Westward article, the name is likely a reference to a Czech composer Anton Dvorak's New World Symphony, and the New World Airport Commission was simply a temporary commission created to arrange the new airport's opening festivities.
Wouldn't they have record of that?
You would think, right?
You would think. Like, that doesn't make any sense either. Okay.
Anywho, next, secret tunnel.
Yes. Okay, we knew you had to do a secret tunnel.
Secret tunnel. So, while the airport was being built, it is said that there were 5 buildings that were built below, but for some reason needed to be abandoned. Instead of destroying them, another infrastructure was built on top, leading many to wonder just what might be going on in those buildings underneath the ground level. What fuels this theory is how the construction took so much longer and how it was so over budget.
That would make sense because they had to build other stuff. And when they said that construction was being paused, maybe they were just constructing things underground. You can see it.
Secret tunnel. The legend is that there are miles of underground tunnels and layer upon layer of secret buildings and bunkers beneath the airport, which the members of the secret societies plan to use to ride out an upcoming apocalypse. Some even claim that there is a tunnel that runs all the way from DIA to the North American Aerospace Defense Command, or NORAD, which is located 100 miles away near Colorado Springs. Others suggest the underground layer may be home to something supernatural like extraterrestrials or lizard people.
Aliens. Always aliens. It's always aliens. Lizard people? Why lizard people?
Have you not heard of lizard people?
I've heard of lizard people, but why are they in Denver? Why are they underneath the Denver airport?
Isn't lizard people like another conspiracy theory, like they're in the government and stuff like that?
Yeah.
That might be explored one day in the future.
We should definitely touch on
lizard people.
We should definitely
touch on lizard people. Let's not touch on lizard people.
I stopped myself.
Okay.
We should definitely look up lizard people and do that.
Yeah, that's what you said the first time.
Avoid touching. At all
touchy. So the debunking of
lizard people? Please tell me.
Although the airport acknowledges that there are several subterranean levels beneath the main terminal, they say the tunnels only extend out to the perimeter of the airport, less than 2 miles. So there's no tunnel to NORAD.
What's the point of them?
Roughly 1,000 people work daily in the various levels underneath the airport, ferrying luggage among ticket counters, planes, and baggage claim areas in a pair of 7,000-foot long tunnels that run alongside the airport's underground trains. So I think the pictures that I share kind of show examples of both of that. Someone taking luggage and then passenger trains underneath.
Okay.
Some of the underground levels host work and office spaces, though I couldn't really find evidence or pictures of that. But they say that you are more likely to run into employees rather than secret society members in robes. And the airport is adamant that any purported evidence of space aliens is just graffiti from mischievous employees, some of whom have been known to wear lizard masks to prank unsuspecting coworkers and members of the media.
I could see that.
So,
that's valid.
Is there lizard people underneath the airport? I don't know. Probably not.
Maybe.
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 So the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the layout of the airport itself. So the buildings and the layout of the airport also play into the hand of conspiracy theorists. Not only is DIA the second largest airport in the world regarding landmass, but there are an untold number of extra buildings and hangars on the property that seem unneeded for typical airport. So what mysteries are going on there?
Yeah.
Beyond that, looking at a bird's eye view of DIA, all the runways and terminals together can be construed to be in the shape of a swastika.
No.
So, did the Nazis construct DIA?
Oh my gosh. Guys, that's a bad look right there.
I mean, it's not an even one, but
that's awkward. I mean, okay, you're about to go into explaining why it's not, right?
So the reasoning behind this configuration is straightforward, according to the airport. Having the various runways splayed out in this pinwheel design makes it easier for multiple runways to be used at once and minimizes the chance of having to shut down all runways during inclement weather or strong winds, which I assume happens a lot in Denver, Colorado. But DIA officials do refuse to comment on this theory. That could be because of how ridiculous the theory is and how controversial that it could be. So
right.
It's just interesting.
Yeah, also, it's an unfortunate event.
So the last kind of conspiracies that I'm going to talk about is the cursed art in the airport.
Oh, okay.
The airport's 40-piece public art collection. Most notably, its colorful 24-foot wide murals by artist Leo Taguma. If I say that right?
Okay.
It's Notre Denver gargoyles sculptures and the Mustang sculpture are clues to a sinister influence at the airport, maybe of an upcoming apocalypse.
Gargoyles are actually very sketchy. Like they do have like they have like meaning behind them and like they're freaky and like
I'll wait till you see these ones. So, the murals. Theorists focus on the anti-themes of war, death, pollution, and environmental destruction, even claiming that the artworks contain clues and messages about the apocalypse and the inevitable rise of a totalitarian world government.
Ooh. Those are actually at the airport?
They're murals on the walls.
How are these allowed? What in the world?
However, the pieces purportedly express the artist's hopeful desire for the people of the world to live in peace with one another in harmony with nature.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the message I get from those, but
it's not.
Okay. The gargoyles. One is located in each of the baggage claims. So there's 2 baggage claims and 1 gargoyle in each one. Sitting in suitcases, tongues sticking out, these unnerving sculptures survey the world below them as people bustle about their business.
Why?
For conspiracy theorists, this is yet another piece of evidence that something mysterious is going on at DIA. The art pieces known as Notre Denver, because they were kind of inspired by Notre Dame. The 2 luggage gargoyles. So they're known as luggage gargoyles as well. Like I said, the design was inspired by the Notre Dame Cathedral. As with the gargoyles of Notre Dame and many other examples of Gothic architecture, The idea is that the creature protects all they oversee. So according to their creator, artist Terry Allen, they are posted in baggage claim to ensure your luggage arrives safely on time and at the correct carousel.
Okay, I'll allow it. Okay. Still sketchy, but I'll allow it.
So the last piece of art that I'm going to talk about, it would only be right to end out our round of conspiracies with the giant blue horse.
What?
The 32-foot tall sculpture of a blue horse rearing up on its hind legs above Pena Boulevard is officially titled Mustang. But most Denverites know him by his demonic sounding nickname, Blucifer.
Why would you? Oh. That's terrifying looking.
So you understand the name?
I do now. I was not picturing that. I was like, why would you call him that? And then I saw the picture and I was like, I understand. Oh my gosh. Okay.
This is the most controversial and storied piece of art. With its red glowing eyes and a mane that looks more like Medusa's snakes than any horse's hair we've seen, Blucifer is already a frightening sight, but his history adds a little extra layer of intrigue. Created by artist Luis Jimenez, Mustang was commissioned in the mid-90s and inspired by the bright colors and themes of famed Mexican muralists like Diego Rivera and Jose Clemente Orozco.
I just don't think you do the red eyes. Like, I feel like if you do any other colored eyes might be better. The red eyes is what does it for me. That's what seems like a little hard for me.
Well, Jimenez grew up working in his father's sign making shop, went on to receive acclaim during his 30 years as an artist. So basically he was famous. Primarily known for his large fiberglass sculptures. Unfortunately, Mustang was to be his last. After working on the piece for nearly a decade, Jimenez was killed in an accident in his New Mexico studio in June 2006 when a piece of the sculpture fell and severed an artery in his leg.
Killed him?
It killed him.
And they still put it up?
The piece was eventually completed by Jimenez's children and unveiled in February 2008.
Oh, I just think that's a real bad omen you just kind of ignored there.
Between his tragic backstory and the menacing visage, Blucifer has been a target for myth makers since he was erected, with many insisting that he is cursed. Some even claim that his glowing red eyes indicate that he represents one of the steeds that will be ridden by the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, although Jimenez himself said that they were simply meant to honor the wild spirit of the West.
So do like a yellow.
So do like a yellow or an orange, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, not like a dark, deep red that's like Satan's looking at you. Yeah, no.
I don't, just like the whole sculpture. Like the
he looks angry.
He
looks angry.
Yeah, it's creepy. Man. Anywho, my conclusion. The many conspiracies that surround Denver International Airport are all pretty interesting, but it makes one think, how can one place have all these conspiracies? At face value, they all seem kind of random, but one could argue that maybe that they're all connected and that a secret society set it all up. But why would a secret society put so many clues out in the open? Makes you think. And if it's not a secret society, is it just the airport messing with all of us? Which, I mean, if it is, good on them. Marketing on a whole nother level.
Yep.
Whether or not you believe any of these theories, it is fun just to think that maybe there are lizard people running around in the tunnels underneath the Denver International Airport.
Lizard Nazi people who have prepared gargoyles and horses as protection. I mean, I believe it.
You believe all of them? Every single one.
Every single one. No, I don't believe the lizard people. Of all the things that I do believe in, lizard people's probably like on the bottom of the list. Like, it's not one that like sticks as something that could be real to me. But, you know, I'm also not closed-minded enough to think it's not true, but
my question is just like, why? Why is there so many tunnels? Why is there so much underneath? Like, what is it for? Like, why, where, when, why?
How?
Crazy.
Mm-hmm. No, very cool. Very cool. It was light. I liked it.
A little fun.
Yeah, pull it.
Little scary devil horses.
Yeah, the horse is terrifying.
Actually terrifying.
All right, you ready to be even more scared?
Sure.
I'm going to scare you. I'm going to do it. All right.
Okay.
So I'm going to be talking about the Russian sleep experiment.
You know, I don't sleep well. I just went to the doctor for this.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It's fine. Anyway,
I'm so curious. Okay.
So setting the stage. Set the stage. We are in 1947 in a covert Soviet-Russian test facility. Scientists believe that they have created a stimulant that can keep a person awake for a long time. You have heard about this?
No, but this is not going to be good.
Okay. So this could be considered useful in times of war. In fact, I don't know how we do this every time. The Germans had created a drug called Preventin, which is an early form of methamphetamine that was widely used in Nazi Germany during World War II. Fun fact.
Seriously?
It was available without a prescription. You could just
buy
go
meth?
pick it up. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Crazy.
Bonus fun fact. The US and British soldiers were also dosed up with a drug called Benzedrine that was used as a decongestant inhaler, but in World War II, it was also used as a stimulant to combat fatigue in soldiers. So we were just dosing up soldiers in World War II.
That'd be like now giving all of our soldiers Adderall. Like,
yeah.
In the trenches, like in the middle of war.
To like combat the fatigue.
That couldn't have been good for anything.
No. Nope. So all that to say that creating a new and improved stimulant for soldiers in itself isn't a far-fetched idea. So the Soviets were looking for a way to amp it up and to improve on the drugs that were already being used. So they find something they think it's going to work. What's the most logical next step?
Not use it. Don't use it.
Human subjects.
No.
Yes. So during this time, obviously it's not super hard to find willing test subjects, especially since prisoners of war were plenty.
No.
They offered freedom to each subject after the experiment was complete. So
would they be dead by that time?
Well, that's that's
the risk.
That's the risk they're
freedom or death, or
bonus that since they were dealing with prisoners, passing ethical considerations wasn't such a big deal.
I mean, it will be with the Geneva Convention. Is
Yeah,
that
that's not
after
a thing
this?
yet.
That's after, way
Mhm.
after this.
Yeah. So they set up a test area where 5 subjects would stay. It would be a sealed environment into which the researchers would release the stimulant in gas form and check to make sure oxygen levels were, so they would release the gas and keep oxygen, make sure they were balanced out. The researchers would listen to the subjects through a microphone. There were cameras through which they could monitor the subjects. The subjects would be given dried food, a bed with no bedding, running water, and a toilet to share, all in one room. The only portholes to the outside were 5 inches thick, glass windows, which scientists said that they could barely even see like a shadowy form.
Yikes.
Like through them because they were so thick. Okay. So they find 5 test subjects who are willing to try and stay awake for 30 days.
No, that's not possible.
But they have been falsely informed that they can make it without sleep for 30 days. You'll get their freedom. Apparently, the Russians had no intentions of actually letting the prisoners go afterwards.
Yeah, no.
They just dangled it in front of them.
Yeah.
Like a carrot.
That doesn't surprise me. Not shocked at all.
When all is set and ready, they bring in the subjects, lock the 5 men in a sealed chamber, and began pumping in the gas.
So they're all 5 in the same chamber?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The testing begins. The first 3 days go by, and the test subjects, which again were all 5 men, were in good spirits. They hadn't slept. They were talking. Appears the gas is working, keeping them awake and alert. Researchers are also super pleased with these results. All good things, right? All good things. Things start to turn a little dark around the day 4 mark.
Only day 4?
Day 4. They made it to day 4. So
okay.
that's something.
Yeah.
I think before this, the longest was like 24 to 36 hours. I think 36 hours people started getting like delirious. So, day 4. They started discussing war and horrors they had seen. They started talking about traumas, continual nightmares, and other horrible things they had witnessed. But they make it to day 5, and that's when things start getting bad. The men start showing signs of psychosis, talking to themselves, things, and people that aren't there. They start to grow paranoid of each other and start whispering into the microphones, telling stories about the other subjects. They're So fun fact, after 5 days, so like people experience insomnia, right?
Yeah.
After 5 days of no sleep, a person's mind can turn on them, hallucinations. They could seem extremely real and horrifying. The researchers knew this, but they weren't sure if their current symptoms, the psychosis, was because of the sleep loss or because of the actual gas.
Right.
So, obviously, the right thing to do would be to stop the experiment.
Yeah, but
not in Russia.
Yeah.
No, we're going to keep on going. Suspicions about the effect the gas was having on the test subjects was more solid by day 9, when one subject began screaming uncontrollably for hours while the others did not react to his outbursts. The man screamed for so long and so hard, they actually hypothesized that he tore his vocal cords, because once he finally stopped screaming, he was rendered mute as a result and wouldn't speak again the rest of the experiment.
They didn't take him out. They didn't stop.
Once the second man started screaming, the researchers went to check on the subjects and realized they couldn't see the subjects.
What do you mean?
It looked as if the subjects had torn pages, like they had torn pages out of a book and used feces to stick them on the porthole windows and cameras so they couldn't see in.
I was really hoping you wouldn't say that.
Poop.
I was really hoping. I was like, no, don't let it be feces. No.
Okay. A few days passed without the researchers being able to look inside. They didn't hear anything more.
Why wouldn't they just go in at that point?
They knew the subjects were alive because the oxygen levels were indicating that there were 5 grown men alive.
Breathing.
Mm-hmm.
But how long is that going to last?
They did not want to interrupt the study, but after 5 days of not hearing anything, they felt like they had no choice and had to go in.
Yeah. No, that should have been day 1. Day 1, go in.
On the 15th day, they decided to turn off the simulating gas and reopen the chamber. Not before threatening the subjects to step away from the door, lie flat on the floor, or they would be shot. Before entering, they said compliance will earn one of you your freedom. You'll be able to leave if you guys completely comply. The only response they got was said in a low, flat tone, "We no longer want to be freed."
What does that mean?
With no other option available, they had to check on the subjects. They shut off the gas, turned on the vents to allow fresh air into the chamber.
I feel like that might fuck stuff up even more.
What the researchers heard next was men screaming, all of them pleading for more of the gas. It was at this point that the researchers began to realize just how hooked the subjects had gotten into it. You realize you're giving someone meth.
They're gonna, yeah.
It's addictive.
And it's like,
it does crazy things.
Not like they're giving,
was so potent.
Yeah, it's not like they're giving them a dose at night and a dose in the morning. It's constant in their air that they're breathing. Mm-hmm. How do you think that's not gonna fuck them up when you turn it off?
I don't think they thought they was gonna be this addictive. I don't think they thought it would.
For some pretty smart people, they're fucking dumb. Dumber than rocks.
Okay. I mean, yeah. Okay. Regardless of the subject's reaction, the researchers had to check in the room, so they opened the door. Buckle up.
Oh, God.
Sugar warning. Buckle again.
Just do all the buckles. Get all your buckles, guys. Get your helmet, your buckles.
This is going to be violent. It's going to be graphic. If you have an issue with that, skip a while.
A while? Good Lord. Okay.
So the researchers walked into the room and discovered that 4 surviving subjects had performed lethal and severe mutilation and disembowelments on themselves during the past couple of days.
What?
They had torn skin and muscles from their own body.
Hold on, you said 4.
Using whatever they could find, which in one case revealed the horrific sight of part of one of the subject's lungs was actually able to be seen, because they had torn at the skin and muscle so bad.
What?
From what they could tell, it appeared that each had performed surgery on themselves. So, yeah.
They were just ripping their guts out.
Skin, muscle.
Not bleeding or dying or what's happening?
Well, they were bleeding. So, body parts, skin, were seen to be laid out on the floor, sort of like artwork. And the men had practiced, it seemed, self-cannibalism on themselves, as well as cannibalism on now dead test subject.
Were they being fed?
Subject. Dried food.
They were being fed normally, right? Or no?
Dried food, like dried up food.
So they had like MREs in there or whatever.
Basically, yeah. Yeah. So there's cannibalism.
Hey! Cannibalism!
They had also allowed around 10 centimeters or 4 inches of blood and water.
Raw cannibalism? They just raw dogging it?
4 inches of blood and water to accumulate on the floor by jamming paper and pieces of flesh that they had torn from the dead subject into several of the drains. The subjects violently refused to leave the chamber and begged the scientists to continue administering the stimulant. They actually ended up murdering a soldier and severely injuring another that had attempted to remove them. After eventually being removed from the chamber, all subjects were shown to exhibit extreme strength and unprecedented resistance to sedatives. And
no shit.
Yeah, and a desperate desire to stay awake and be given more of the stimulant, the gas. It was also theorized at this point that if any one of the test subjects fell asleep, if their heart rate would slow down so much so that they would just die.
Yeah.
So as they were removing the subjects, one actually ended up bleeding out to death and passed away in transit. So now we're down to 3. I mean,
there's no way any of these guys survive.
The 3 remaining subjects were eventually sedated, strapped down, and moved to a secure facility. When the first subject went into surgery, they were trying to literally, I pieced them together. I literally put Humpty Dumpty back together.
Yeah.
Because he almost broke through the restraints. So they administered further sedation that ended up putting the man to sleep. So his heart stopped and he died seconds later.
Yeah.
According to his autopsy, he had broken 9 bones.
How?
And his muscles were torn all over his body and trying to escape and trying to get out of the restraints.
Oh, trying to get out of the restraints?
So, after the 3rd death, researchers were like, we're done. We're not losing anymore. So
you're going to lose some more.
No anesthesia for the next surgeries.
Will they numb him? Nothing?
Nothing. They didn't want to risk anything.
Oh, Lord.
They patched him up, sewing up his ruptured organs, laying skin grafts all over him, all while he was not under any sort of anesthesia. Afterwards, the surgeon even stated that he should not be alive with everything that he had been through. He should have gone into shock. He should have bled out. One of the nurses stated that she could have sworn the subject had been smiling the entire time during surgery. He was not screaming. He just kept asking for gas, and she said he was smiling.
Ew.
Once in recovery room, the subject began wheezing like he was trying to say something, so the nurse gave him a pen and paper. The subject wrote down 2 words: keep cutting.
What?
Mm-hmm.
So what, they liked the pain? That's why they were doing it?
Maybe it made him feel anything, like you know, like I don't. The 5th victim also required major surgery. Obviously, it was reported that he laughed the entire time through his surgeries. So the 2 remaining victims' conditions just continued to get worse after what they patched him up. So the scientists did the only logical thing they could think of. They put them back on the gas.
No! Put him down!
The theory was
I'm
that
so
they only
sorry.
started...
I'm so sorry.
Are you?
But like at this
Put him
point,
down.
I think murder is the only option. This point.
Their theory was that they only started to get worse during withdrawals.
I don't think that's a theory that's going to be proven correct, but continue.
They started the gas back, and both victims were doing better.
Slowly or just full on again?
Full on again.
Yikes.
Until the EEG monitor they were hooked up to started to show crazy brain activity and then just died down. One of the victims then flatlined and died instantly.
Uh-huh.
The last victim and final victim, seeing his friend die, broke free of his restraints and charged the door. The soldier who was keeping guard was so scared he shot him, fatally wounding him. The subject didn't go down instantly. He kept charging, so he kept trying to take him down. The soldier then asked, "What are you?" And this was his response.
No.
Are you ready?
No.
"We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at every moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread."
What does that mean?
Obviously, at this point, the soldier he just put a bullet right into his head. He was done. So that is how the Russian sleep experiment ended.
Don't tell me that's it. That's it? You have nothing else to say after that?
I have a lot else to say after this.
I was going to be, you cannot end that like that.
Well, so here's the thing. We're at conspiracy theories. Is this real?
Oh,
is it real?
Is it real?
Let's break it down, right?
Okay.
Right. So to start, full disclosure, now that I've freaked you out, I've succeeded in my job. This story became increasingly popular on Creepypasta.
Oh my
which we
God.
all know where urban legends are born. Some go as far as to say it's one of the most shocking and impactful urban legends of the internet age. It is something that has grown. There is a huge debate on whether the story actually has some form of truth behind it.
Right.
Would it be so hard to believe that Russians during that time would be conducting experiments on prisoners of war? I mean, people conducted experiments on prisoners of war all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We know the Nazis did it. Who's to say that it wouldn't be unethical? So now my thing is, I don't think it happened exactly as written.
Right.
I don't. Because there are some points that really just don't make logical sense. That really couldn't happen. Like body pieces and organs lying out on the floor. I feel like they would have just died at that point. You know what I mean? I feel like it could have very well have been exaggerated. But yeah. It would have died from blood loss and shock for sure. This goes along the same lines as the experiments being done on humans, though. There are stories that there are experiments done to give humans superhuman strength or even bring dead tissue back alive. There are documents of the Germans doing experiments on humans to bring them back to life. That is a thing that has happened. And sleep deprivation is actually a known form of torture, and it has been used by militaries. It can literally drive a person crazy. So, and there are actual sleep deprivation studies performed. The first of which were performed by a Russian physician and scientist. However, the documented studies were all performed on dogs, not test subjects. But there are documented sleep studies done on dogs, to which I don't think any of the dogs survived longer than 36 hours. I think was the longest. It's documented. So, what do you think? What do you think? Could there be truth behind this story, or is it just a conspiracy theory?
I mean, it's possible for sure. The Russian government is super secretive, or the Soviet government at that point. It was. I mean, just look at the Dyatlov Pass story. How
Dyatlov Pass. I mean,
how cover that reeks of government conspiracy cover up bullshit. And so I wouldn't doubt it. Honestly,
I wouldn't doubt it. Like I said, I think there's definitely certain things that were said to creep you out. I mean, that's a scary story. But I do think in general, there's truth behind most stories. There's something that has inspired.
Yeah.
Whether it be that sleep deprivation was used as a form of torture, or whether it be that there were experiments that did happen and they weren't on humans. But I don't know. I just found it really creepy. Very creepy.
Gross.
Very gross. The quote got me. The quote still gets me, even though it's just a silly quote. It's it's so dark. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free.
That person needs therapy. Whoever wrote that.
Right? No, right? And it was really cool is now that one's been out, people have taken the liberty and just made it their own. So I've listened to a couple different, and everyone had a little different story. So I don't know. I thought it was really cool. So yeah, that's my story.
Crazy.
That actually scary this time.
That was very gross. Creepy. Yes.
I feel better now. I feel redeemed from last week. It was bad. Yeah. So obviously there's no pictures, but
right.
but there were pictures. There are none. Like you could look up like people have drawn what they think it was. I'm just like, no. Anyway.
I mean, I think with most like government experiments, they share pictures.
No, I mean, and we also our government does some pretty sketchy stuff too, like talking about
like
conspiracy stuff,
body snatching.
Yeah, so I definitely think that prisoners of war were experimented on.
Yeah,
and like I said, I think they definitely added some flair to make it super creepy. But
also, most people don't know that we had our own concentration camps in World War II. We put Asian people in concentration camps.
Japanese people, yeah.
On U.S. soil. We had concentration camps on U.S. soil. That's fucked.
Yeah, because everyone was so scared of them. After Japan bombed Pearl Harbor, everyone became very scared and it generalized. That's not I was gonna say racist, but like
it's racist. Yeah,
yeah. It's kind of a very similar thing to say like all Muslims are bad now because of what happened. You know what I mean? Like that's not fair. Absolutely not fair.
Crazy.
Yeah. Generalizations suck. Racism sucks. That's it for this episode. If you enjoy the podcast, don't forget to follow us. Leave a comment. We love comments. If you're watching on YouTube, hi. Make sure to like and subscribe, guys. Subscribe and like the videos. Those help us too. I like seeing when we get likes.
You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok with our username at TTATA Podcast. And in the bio of all of our social media is our link tree, which has our email. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, topic ideas, sometimes we struggle finding our own. Let us know. If you want us to talk about something, we will.
Yeah, I love that. Plus, then we can shout you out when we talk about it. Like, oh, we got this idea from so-and-so. Like, come on, it'd be cool. Do it. Thanks for listening, guys. And with that, we're going to leave you with this inspirational quote.
When you're different, sometimes you don't see the millions of people who accept you for what you are. All you notice is the one person who doesn't.
Oh, wow.
By Jodi Picoult, which is actually one of my mom's favorite authors.
Wow, that's so true.
Right?
You always seem to focus on the one person who like doesn't get you, is mad at you or anything, and not all the other people who support you and love you. Oh, that's so true.
You're welcome.
All right, that's it for this episode.
Till next time.
Bye.